13 News at 5 begins with breaking news tonight.
We're continuing our coverage. In the last 10 minutes. We just learned that a man who Indianapolis Metro Police say shot their officers has died. Our Marina Silva rushed to the scene when we learned of that shooting just before 2:30. I do want to clarify that we were told by IMPD that they did fire at that suspect.
She joins us live tonight. And Marina, you actually just spoke with police. What else are they telling you about this shooting?
Yeah, we just heard from the assistant chief and Chief Bailey about what led up to this officer-involved shooting, so we will just get right to it. So police got a call to the 300 block of South Warman for somebody that had been shot. When they got here, we do know they told us that shots were fired towards officers while they were in their vehicles, and that is captured on camera footage. They did finally see the suspect, and a small foot pursuit started. It was an adult male suspect. Now, they were able to get behind barriers in order to make sure that they could stay covered. They did see the suspect with a machete over his head. They were trying to get the male to comply with other commands, and police tell us he did not when an officer-involved shooting did occur. The suspect did die at the hospital. The female adult victim was then found in a house. They believe that the suspect fired at the house and shot the female and then tried to flee. They're still trying to figure out how these two know each other, if they know each other. So we do want to give you a look at the scene right now. You can still see there are multiple police vehicles here. The Indianapolis-Marion County Forensic Service Agency is here along with dozens of officers that are investigating this incident. So the South Warman Avenue area is going to be blocked off for some time. So we will send it back to you guys.
All right, Marina Silva reporting live from the scene for us tonight after we have a police-involved action shooting here in Indianapolis. Of course, this is an active investigation. Police will remain on the scene, and as we learn more information, we'll bring it to you not only here, but on all WTHR platforms.
All right, let's get it over to Angela. She has info that we need over the next couple of days.
Yes, info on the cold and info on the snow, and both coming over the next couple of days. The wind late tonight through Friday, the impact some bursts of snow, especially for that Friday morning drive. So monitor road conditions. There could be some slick travel early tomorrow morning, and if we get those steadier bursts of snow before school starts, maybe a couple of school delays. We're not expecting a lot of snow, and coating up to an inch for Indianapolis, an inch or two just to the north, Kokomo, Marion, Muncie. That would include you. As it starts this evening, it will start in the form of a little rain-snow mix. For now, all of that up to our north and west. We've had a few flurries across the northern part of the state. Those become more numerous into snow showers early tomorrow morning. This is 4 a.m. You'll be tuning in to Chuck. He'll be tracking the bursts of snow that will continue through at least midday tomorrow. We'll talk more about the snow, the impacts, and the cold on the way for the weekend.
Angela, thank you. And you want to make sure that you have the live Doppler 13 weather app ahead of the snow tonight and into tomorrow morning. And that's a free download in your phone's app store.
Developing tonight at 5, a 19-year-old now is under arrest after a deadly shooting on the west side of Indianapolis in Avon.
Hendricks County Sheriff's deputies tell us it happened at Steeplechase Apartments near Shiloh Crossing Drive in US 36. That's where our Chase House spent the morning talking to neighbors.
And so, Chase, did anyone hear or see anything there?
Yeah, I spoke to a man who says he was in his apartment when he heard 4 or 5 gunshots coming from inside the apartment next door. Police lights replaced the glow of holiday decorations after a 22-year-old man was shot and killed inside this apartment Wednesday night.
I do feel bad about it.
James Pastor says he's lived at the complex for about 10 years now, and nothing like this has ever happened.
We leave early in the morning for work, so I always check around my car. I check under her car, so I just, I'm very aware of my surroundings. And nowadays you have to be.
Over at the Hendricks County Jail sits a 19-year-old who police say had some sort of connection to the shooting. And according to investigators, they found him in a car involved in the shooting in Indianapolis.
Once you take that step and once that gun is fired, there's no taking that back.
Captain Jim Yetter works with the Hendricks County Sheriff's Office. He says while gun violence is low across the county, it still has an impact on those beyond the people involved.
It certainly affects, loved ones, family, friends, and things like that, but also affects the community because, they get that sense that, of maybe the safety issue, is there an overwhelming issue with the safety of the community? I can say that here in Hendricks County, that I feel like it is a very safe community.
And like many of the counties throughout central Indiana, Captain Yetter says the gun violence is driven by people picking up guns to solve problems. Right now, the sheriff's office tells me that 19-year-old has only been arrested in connection to the shooting. They're still working to learn if he's actually the one who pulled the trigger. And I also reached out to the Hendricks County Prosecutor's Office to see if and when charges will be filed, but I have not heard back. Reporting in Avon, Chase Howell, 13 News.
Looking ahead to tomorrow, the day that Richard Allen will learn his sentence after he was convicted last month for the Delphi murders of these two teens, Libby German and Abby Williams.
A jury found Allen guilty on 4 murder charges, 2 for each girl, and he's facing between 45 to 130 years in prison.
That exact sentence will be determined tomorrow. A hearing in front of Judge Francis Gull. It begins at 9 o'clock in the morning in Carroll County. We have a team of reporters that will be there in the courtroom where they likely will be hearing emotional testimony before sentencing from the girls' families.
Emily Longnecker, who was part of our team coverage during the month-long trial, joins us now to explain what you can expect to hear tomorrow.
Richard Allen's defense team filed this sentencing memorandum. It gives a pretty good idea of what we won't be hearing at sentencing, testimony for Richard Allen or his family. Allen's defense team also says in the memo they won't be saying much either. The memorandum puts in writing what Allen's defense team said on the day he was convicted. Richard Allen plans to appeal his conviction. The memorandum says, quote, Richard Allen maintains his innocence and is hopeful that the appellate process will provide him with an opportunity to present a full defense at a second trial. One the defense said should be, quote, neutral, detached, and unbiased. If Allen gets a new trial, the full defense attorneys want could include testimony about alternative suspects and the defense's theory that Abby and Libby were killed by more than one person as part of a pagan ritual. The jury did not get a chance to hear any of that in last month's trial after Judge Gull ruled the defense could not present those arguments. She said Allen's lawyers had not shown a direct connection between those alternative suspects and the murders. In her ruling, Gull also said testimony about ritual killings would confuse the jury. Knowing they plan to appeal, 13 News legal expert and criminal defense trial attorney Katie Jackson-Lindsay says even after tomorrow's hearing, it's not likely the public will hear from Allen's family or his lawyers.
I would expect the defense to advise Richard Allen's family not to make any statements and to provide Richard Allen not to make any statements, because anything that he says at any point for the rest of his life could be used against him in any subsequent prosecution, including an appeal.
According to the defense's memo, they also advised Allen not to give information for a pre-sentencing investigation report that Judge Gull received before the sentencing hearing. That report is used by the judge to determine how big a risk there is of Allen reoffending. The defense says they expect any sentence Allen receives basically means he'll likely spend the rest of his life in prison. In a best-case scenario, they say he might get out at age 85. Coming up tonight at 6, we'll tell you who you are likely to hear from tomorrow. Emily Longnecker, 13 News.
Emily, thank you. We're helping you get caught up and on the Delphi murders trial on WTHR Plus right now.
Yeah, we have actually a sentencing special that you need to see. It's at 7 o'clock. We're going to recap everything you need to know before Richard Allen learns his sentence. This will update you. We want you to download our free streaming app. It's on Apple TV, Fire Stick, and Roku.
The evening rush is on right now, and I-65 south of I-465 near Southport Road slowly is now reopening at this hour after there was a fiery crash earlier today that ended in the death of a 60-year-old man. So take a look. This is some of the video from INDOT showing the crash. It happened just after 10:30 this morning. The crash then shut down I-65 and had backups for up to 5 miles for several hours today. Indianapolis firefighters also took these images and are sharing some of the videos that they took as they were working on the scene. They tell us that the man who died was driving that semi, which was carrying a load of wooden pallets. He crashed into several interstate signs and a section of guardrail, and that's when the semi then caught fire. It's not clear right now what happened. Perhaps did he suffer a medical emergency before the crash? The investigation will look into that. Firefighters said they had a hard enough time getting water out to that fire since there were no hydrants fire hydrants in the area along I-65 near Southport Road.
Some stunning images
Yes.
there. Tonight, we are getting a look at an aggressive approach to get illegal guns and drugs off central Indiana streets. It's all part of a special team called the Indiana Crime Guns Task Force.
Our Marion County reporter Lauren Costa got a chance to sit down with some of the agencies today, and they talked about this very targeted work.
Indiana Crime Guns Task Force investigated 150 leads this year, resulting in more than 230 people arrested, seizing illegal guns, drugs, and cash. 13 News sat down with Fisher's police chief, ATF, and an IMPD lieutenant on the task force. The agencies and several others in central Indiana are focused on using their best detectives to go after the worst criminals, all with the goal of driving down violent crime.
I would say our team is tip of the spear when it comes to that. We're out interdicting illegal firearms off the street every single day, not just in Indianapolis, but in these surrounding communities as well.
Eventually, we're going to figure out who that trigger puller is, who possesses that firearm, and we're going to find it and we're going to prosecute them accordingly.
This year alone, the task force confiscated 270 illegal firearms and 168 pounds of narcotics. Of the 232 people arrested this year, the task force says 16 of them were charged in federal court. In Indianapolis, Lauren Kostick, 13 News.
The task force says the biggest concern this year was the number of machine gun conversion devices. It's an accessory which can be attached to a handgun, and that allows that weapon then to fire automatically. Our coverage continues at 6. Hear how this task force now is working to fight the illegal trend.
Well, time's running out.
But Republicans may have just reached a deal to avoid a key government shutdown. The latest is ahead at 5:30, but first right here at 5.
Having both of my favorite teams play is such an exciting time in life.
So close, it's almost game day.
Yeah, the excitement building on the campuses of IU and Notre Dame, all ahead of the college football playoff.
And it's going to be chilly for that college football playoff. Kickoff temperatures in the upper 20s with a few flurries. I'll have a look ahead to our weekend in your full forecast.
And making his first appearance in a New York City courtroom.
We have the new charges that the man who's accused of killing the CEO of United Healthcare is facing tonight. It's next.